What is up, dudes and dudettes? I am the Mystical Green Beanie, and welcome to another episode of Hitting the Books, the show where I take a comic or anything comic book related that I've read this week, and I review said thing that I've read this week. Actually, this is not something that I've read this week. It's actually something I've read a few months ago, but I promised to do a video on it, and I'm going to keep that promise. Note how I never said that I would give a specific time when I would review it. So, yeah, loophole. Anyways, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Justice League Mortal script, and it's more like the script and some of the concept art that got released for the documentary that's probably never gonna come to fruition. But yeah, I'm gonna be reviewing all that in bulk. So without further ado, let's jump right into this review. Okay, so starting off with the characters and the world they live in, Batman. Bruce in the story is very much like the Bruce Wayne of the modern era of comics. He's paranoid. He's not exactly a people person. Armie Hammer was set to portray him in film, and while I can't see it as of his career back then, after watching the incredibly underrated Man from U.N.C.L.E. and regrettably the Lone Ranger, I can actually see him pulling this role off. Bruce in this story invents Brother Eye in order to keep watch over the other super people of the world. And he does so because he fears their power and he wants to hold contingencies in place just in case any of them decide to go rogue, much like in Justice League Tower of Babel or Justice League Doom. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who aren't too fond of the hyper paranoid sociopathic Batman, but I don't know. I really like it. And I would have loved to see that on film. Also, it seems like this version of Batman would have been, what Ben Affleck's Batman is going to be. And that both really excites me and really bums me out because I would have loved to see this Batman in action. Plus, he would have been portrayed as being in his prime. But at least I know I'm going to see him in the near future. And, that version of Batman is not that far out of reach. Next up is the Man of Steel himself, Superman. Now, in this movie, they would have been using the version of Superman that everybody else likes, but I don't. Let me just clear this up a bit. So, everybody loves seeing the version of Superman who's totally in control of the situation. He stands tall and broad, and he knows that nothing can harm him. And he's at that point in his life where he knows Kryptonian martial arts, he speaks every language in the universe, and he knows the full limits of his abilities. He's the perfect Superman. And I am not a big fan of the perfect Superman. I was always more interested in the Superman that had his heart in the right place, but didn't know how to handle certain situations. The Superman who can't fight for shit. The Superman who isn't well versed in many languages, but he knows a little bit here and there. But he can't carry a conversation in any other language except for English. I like the Superman who isn't perfect. That's probably why I love Man of Steel so much. But yeah, because it shows that even for the man who has the potential to do everything, he still can't do everything. But that aside, he would have been the moral compass for the team in this film and the glue that held everyone together. And that's pretty cool, I guess. And now we move on to Wonder Woman, who in this film, she's really cool. She's the perfect blend of the Amazonian warrior and the spirit of peace. And as I've mentioned before on my channel, there's two versions of the character that have the Wonder Woman fan base and the writers at DC Comics divided. But I feel like this film had a perfect balance, and the fans of both would have been able to come together and say that there's at least one version of Wonder Woman that they can all agree is the best. And there would have been a tits battle between her and Superman. Like, one, I would have... Oh, dude. I really, really wish... I kind of wish this movie was made, just so I could watch that fight. But hopefully we get to see Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill go at it in the DC Extended Universe, sometime in the near future, or far future, whichever. But yeah, dude, this looked epic. She looked epic, and yeah, man. And now switching gears to Aquaman, the King of Atlantis. Yeah, I didn't like him. No, not at all. I didn't like it. I mean, to be honest, I'm an Aquaman fan myself, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Aquaman just ain't treated right. He's still the butt of every superhero joke ever made, And people who don't read comics still like to look at him and say, "Oh, that guy from the Robot Chicken sketches, yeah, yeah, he's that guy." Which, admittedly, they're pretty funny, but still, that ain't Aquaman. And here, he's basically a more serious version of that Robot Chicken Aquaman. I know it's a weird thing to say, but he is that Aquaman. He's useless. Hell, he can't even be out of water more than an hour, or else he starts to look like a black dude when he gets out the shower and doesn't use lotion. Dude, I'm not digging it. Plus, he would have had this weird sexual tension with Wonder Woman. No, all aboard the Nope train. Nope, 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 not at all. Like, whole time, where's Mira? I'm not gonna go further into that. I just didn't like this version of Aquaman. And moving on to the Martian Manhunter. You know what? Just watch the Justice League cartoon series. He's about as useful here as he is in that. And I kind of don't blame the writers, because if you think writing for Superman is difficult, then writing Martian Manhunter must be fucking torture. Because this guy can do literally everything that Superman can do, and more. The Martians are insanely overpowered. So, yeah, he's useless here too. He's on fire for most of the movie, actually, and only Aquaman can help him by using water magic to envelope him in a water cocoon. And I'm not the biggest Martian Manhunter fan at all, but I hear he has a pretty kick-ass title at the moment, which I just dated this video. But yeah, I'm just not into the character that much, and if this movie came out, this wouldn't have changed my mind on him at all. And now, let us speak of the Emerald Knight himself, the Green Lantern. Now, in this film, they would have been using the Jon Stewart version of the character, which I like, and it would have been confirmed that by this point in the timeline, Hal Jordan has been dead. And it looks like he died fairly recently, actually. And also, in this film, he is an architect, much like he is in the comics, and much like Justice League Tower of Babel, and Kyle Rayner, his weakness, as calculated by Batman and Brother Eye, is his sight. So for a majority of this movie, he is blind, and he kind of suffers from the Martian Manhunter syndrome. He's just such a powerful character. Needs to be taken out of commission in order to get things rolling. Now, as for casting, Common would have been the one to take on this character, which is fine. His career was huge at the time, and still is actually. But yeah, I feel like he would have done a good job, but I still would have preferred to see Idris Elba myself, just throwing it out there, but Common would have done a good job as well. And finally, the Scarlet Speedster. Bzz. Because there's two. Both Barry and Wally would have been in this movie, and, that's Flash and the Kid Flash, and I would have loved that. And in the end, spoilers for a movie that will never be made, Barry sacrifices himself to save the world. And there's just this very well-written scene where Barry, he knows what he has to do, and he runs all across the world at the speed of light, just taking in the beauty of Earth. And he goes to he and Iris's house, and then he kisses her for, like, the last time ever. And she can feel the vibration spark, and she recognizes that it's him, and, she knows that, he's gonna do what he has to do to save the world. And it's just a really beautifully heart-wrenching moment, and I loved it a lot. Oh, and speaking of, what is it with directors and, killing off their speedsters in their team movies? Come on, man. Like, speedsters are cool. Flash is cool. Quicksilver's cool. X-Men, I swear to God, if you kill Quicksilver, don't go Quicksilver. I can't go through that again. Don't do that. But yeah. So in the end, Barry dies, and Wally graduates from being the Kid Flash to the Flash. And there's a costume funeral for Barry, and it's just a great scene overall. I'm actually sure that all the Flash scenes were my favorite bits of the script, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Flash fanboy at all. Okay, maybe it is, but still, the Flash parts were the best to me. So as for the plot, it would have basically been Justice League Tower of Babel. And that's cool for a movie idea. Personally, I feel like, and this is just me based off reading the script and nothing else, this feels like the sequel to another movie. Because just while reading this, it felt like watching Age of Ultron before watching any of the other Avengers movies. That's what it felt like to me. Also, there would have been this other subplot about Maxwell Lord, who's the villain of this movie. He would have had a fast food chain called Planet Krypton, which is also a reference to Kingdom Come. And that makes no damn sense because Planet Krypton was supposed to be a shrine to the superheroes of old, and in this movie, they're clearly not even 5 years into their careers yet. But I can go on and on about that. I just think it's kind of dumb that it's put there, but it's a nice nod to the comics. As for the visuals, I mean, I'm really just basing this off what was literally explained to us in the script and what we got from the leaked concept art. And based off that, this movie would have looked pretty spectacular. Again, just based off what we've seen, like Aquaman's attire looks great. It resembles his uniform from the Sword of Atlantis storyline, and Superman's suit basically looks like a precursor to the New 52 design, because, and I've said this on the channel before, the New 52 costume is basically just Jim Lee saying, oh, I'm gonna look at all these other trashed movie concept designs and just jumble them together. That's basically what the New 52 Superman costume is. Wonder Woman looks like regular old Wonder Woman, and Batman, I still have no idea what he looked like. Tongue twister. But Batman, I have no idea what he would have looked like. But based off what little we've heard, the best thing that I could come up with is his Arkham Origins suit or his Arkham Knight suit, because he said it was very mechanical. Oh, and Martian Manhunter looks like Martian Manhunter. I mean, they literally just ripped him out of the page. That's cool. So yeah, in conclusion, if you like the MCU, you would have liked this movie. If you don't read comics and you just watch the TV shows and cartoons, you would have liked this movie. But me, I don't know. It's hard to say because, again, this is just the script. And based off the script alone, though, I can't say I would have. Some of the characters in the movie just weren't portrayed the way I would have liked to see them portrayed, such as Aquaman. And Martian Manhunter, while I'm not the biggest fan, this movie wouldn't have been doing him any favors at all. So, yeah. If you want to read the script, it's available online. It's easy to find. But yeah, I'm not too big on it. I'm kind of glad it didn't get made, with the exception of that one fight scene between, Superman and Wonder Woman. That would have been amazing right out of the pages of the Sacrifice storyline. Wait, so it is Sacrifice, right? Yes, Sacrifice, where, Wonder Woman snaps Maxwell Lord's neck. Spoiler alert, that happened in a comic that came out damn near 10 years ago. So, yeah. If you like this video, hit the like button, share, support the channel. If you want to see more content like this, all you gotta do is subscribe. I am the Mystical Green Beanie. And as always, until next time, adios, nachos.